folks. This is the Halfling of the Halfling and Spaceman. I'm doing a segment we like to call Catching Up With, and today we are catching up with CJ Hosack. She was on our show back in April of 2024, and she had her new book out at that time, and we had a great time talking with her then. So we wanted to bring her back on. She contacted us because she has something new going on, and so we're going to get to find out all about that. So CJ, welcome back. And again, we appreciate you being here. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for having me back. Had a
No,
lot
we
of fun
appreciate you.
last time
Well, we
discussing my
appreciate you.
journey.
We appreciate you contacting us and letting us know you've got something good going on. And we're hoping that as we get more use out of the studio. This is a brand new studio, as a matter of fact.
I noticed it's
Uh,
pretty.
um, so we have started with our podcast. We have transitioned that to YouTube, but we're also getting the use of the studio for the catching up with segment. And so we want to really get more use out of the studio. So we're hoping that more people will want to join us in on catching up with as we go along. So you're the first catching up with that we're doing in the
Oh, yeah.
studio. Oh, yay!
That's
Uh,
awesome.
uh, so, when you were on the show back in April of 2024, one of the things we talked about was that you had a new book out, and it was called The Slayer's Magic,
Hmm.
which is turns out to be the first in in a series of books, or maybe it's just two books. I'm not sure where we're going with this, but
Three.
you can.
There'll be
All right,
three.
there'll be three. Okay, all right. So I think you had mentioned at the time that that was sort of the plan. So but we talked a little bit about that book and how 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 is the interest in the book? How has that been going for you?
Um, According to my publisher, typical for a
Okay.
book that's small press indie published. So he said it was pretty normal. So Um, not a New York Times bestseller or anything,
Yeah.
but but fairly normal. He likes to do a lot of like street fairs and conventions and things, and he takes all of his um authors' books that he's published and hand sells them at a lot of conventions and things. So, and I myself have done a few. I just a local street fair here that's put on by a small independent bookstore. That was fun. That was my first
Mhm.
time doing something like that. And then they had a little small, it was part of like a, like a wine crawl or something. But they had the bookstore had a little thing for us to come in and also have a table and sell books. So that was fun. And I just got back from the Tucson Festival of Books um, as an indie author in the indie author tent, selling my books, and I sold out of everything that I brought.
Oh, nice.
So that was great. And I
Yeah.
got to be on a panel for the first time, which was fun. It was about indie published kidlit was the panel. So met some fun authors and I didn't expect a lot of people to be there to see it, but there was. So that was fun. It was cool.
Wonderful.
Had a good time.
Wonderful. So you spent some time over the past year promoting, yourself and your book in various venues. That's great. And that's really what it's all about too, because especially being an indie author is you have to do it all, right? You got to get it out there. You got to get yourself out there. You got to get the book out there. You have to be your own advocate and toot your own horn, right?
Yep,
uh
you do. I mean,
yeah,
I've heard that even if you're traditionally published by a big publishing house, you still have to do a lot of work yourself. So,
yeah, we're finding that out through talking with a lot of other authors, is that these days the big publishing houses don't really give you any more than an indie publisher would. In fact, sometimes you're better off. Well, probably a lot of times you're better off going with an indie publisher because you get probably more face time with the publisher and more contact with the publisher instead of just being a number like at a huge university, or you're not a student, you're just a student ID number, you know. um, so I think that's great. And I can speak from experience. Going to conventions is a great way to network, with other authors and things. So now remind me, you were part of a writers group, weren't you? Or did you do that? You have
I
to.
probably talked about my writing community that I found um in 2020, the Surrey International Writing Conference, and the Writing Excuses Cruise combined together, and they were virtual because it was 2020. And I found my writing community through that conference.
Mhm.
Um, I was sort of lucky because I'm pretty introverted. I have a hard time approaching people and getting to know them. And just because I happened to be in this chat room, I sort of got swept up into this group and into a Discord server, and I slowly got to know everybody. I've been slowly meeting everybody. I went to the Tucson Festival of Books because one of my writing community friends lives in Tucson and she volunteers at that festival. And when the applications came open to apply, she posted it, and I was like, I'll try. So yeah, I'm really not anything without my community. That's how I found my publisher. It's they they read my stuff to for reader feedback. They um they yeah, they hold my hand when I'm crying in my soup because I think I'm not gonna make it. They're wonderful. I don't know what I'd do without them.
That's
Yeah,
great to have that support.
it's awesome.
Go ahead. Sorry,
So,
I interrupted you because I was agreeing with you.
yeah. So, just to recap what the first book was about, it was about a young girl who was adopted in a world where magic is hereditary, and you have to uh, document and prove your bloodlines in a magical library in order to inherit the magic. And it's her journey and trying to find a way to access the library. Of course, 'cause it's not like your local library where you can just walk in. um, and then try to find her birth family. So that was book one, just a recap of what
Mhm.
that one is about. And so book two, The Traveler's Magic. This is the one just came out
Oh, nice
this
cover.
month. Um, so we have some saboteurs who are trying to sabotage the library, and the magic is broken, and Ren and her friends are on a little journey to figure out why the magic is broken and who's behind it. So, and of course, at the same time, she's still, if she doesn't figure out what's wrong with the library, then and it disappears, then of course she will not be able to continue her search for her family. So
Oh,
that's that one. So
mhm.
that's new. We got this out. And then so we have a new cover artist. So book one got a new cover this year.
Oh, that's
Um
nice.
so that they will so that they go together.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So um for, business reasons, my publisher needed to change artists. So we got new cover.
Mhm.
Um and the audiobook for Slayer's Magic is finally coming out at the end of April, April 29th. Yay.
I read that. I actually read that in preparation for us talking tonight. I read that. I'm excited because the spaceman and I we do audiobooks. So so we're very excited about that. So
Yes,
we'll
very excited. I have
yeah.
so many friends and family that tell me, well, I only read audiobooks. So
Ah,
finally the audiobook publisher, Tantor, finally got me a narrator, and so um I'm looking forward to that. Sound the clip that she did sounds great. So
mhm.
we're
That's
excited.
yeah.
Coming
Yeah.
soon.
That's wonderful. I tell you, that's another way to hit the market. And audiobooks are big. Yeah,
Yeah, really
audiobooks
big.
are
A
big.
lot of people, that's their way into reading.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because they like to do it while they're doing chores or while they're driving, or they like to listen. They don't really want to sit down and read, which is great. That's great. Um, as long as you're reading, I'm happy.
So, did you spend the entire basically year since we've talked? Did you basically spend that entire time working on this book, or had you started working on it before the first one came out?
Yeah, so what happened was I wrote book one, a version of it, The Slayer's Magic. And then I wrote book two, a version of it. And then I wrote book three. And then I got a publisher. And he read um, the draft I had of book one and said, well, I really, it's great. I want to publish it. Can you take some of these, a few things out? Like, it was really more middle grade sound. The voice was very middle grade. And I had a lot of playing with magic and doing things like that. And he's like, can you pull that out? Because like book two is YA. So can we
Yeah.
bring them more into line with each other? And I reread the whole manuscript, which I hadn't done for a few years. And I was like, oh, the voice is wrong. It's way too young.
Mm.
So I decided at that point to completely rewrite it from scratch.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And and then it came out last year. And then so I spent this last year, 2024, completely rewriting this one from scratch.
Mm.
And so now I am working on completely rewriting book three. from scratch. Because
Well,
the
I
story
do.
changed quite a bit. I was able to get a lot of feedback and work with yet another person on my in my writing community on who's really good at story structure, like really bringing it together more. So um it needed it. It's fine. But that's what I've been doing all year is yes,
Yeah,
I started about April of last year, writing this one, and I finished it at about the beginning of October. And then it went through reader feedback and then developmental edits and copy edits were just beginning of this year. So yeah, it's been a
yeah.
marathon.
Well, we certainly do appreciate you coming on and telling us a little bit about what's been going on and catching us up, as we like to call it. And we certainly wish you the best of luck with this new release. And very quickly tell everybody what the second book is called again.
The Traveler's Magic.
Traveler's Magic. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the
It's one of the
second
types of
book.
magic that I have.
All right.
Um,
All right.
and I'll also be at Worldcon. So
Very
because I
good.
live in Seattle and it's in Seattle this year, so
Very
hope to
good.
see
Good.
come
Well,
and
that's
say hi.
awesome.
My publisher, Space Wizard Science Fantasy, will be there, and I'll take a shift at the booth. So
Uh,
come and see us.
uh, well, thank you so much for joining us today, and we appreciate that. And again, wish you much success with your new book release. And that's gonna do it for us this evening with the Halfling. And we've had CJ Hosack with us talking about her latest book. And we hope you all have a great evening.